Good morning, students. Welcome to your geography class. I hope all of you are well. So, as you have seen, we completed the first part of this chapter where we discussed about resource, where we discussed about types of resource. Today, we will discuss the next topic, which is development of resources. Okay. So, resources are vital for human survival as well as for maintaining the quality of life. As we have seen the definition of resource, where it is clearly mentioned that resource and each and every element of our environment is required to fulfill the needs of our life, right? So, resources are very vital for the human survival as well as for maintaining the quality of life. As the resource we will increase, as a resource we will use, it will of course improve the quality of our life or the standard living of our life. So it has believed that resources are free gifts of nature. Yes, each and every resource is free gift of nature. What we require, these elements which is free gift of nature, we need to utilize our skill, our knowledge and technology to convert it into a resource. Okay? But human beings use them indiscriminately, and this has led to the following major problems. As these natural elements which we call resource are free gift of nature, so we need to utilize it in a with the proper planning. As human beings started using these resources indiscriminately, automatically it creates some major problems. So we will discuss what are the problems, because development of resource is not only where we are talking about how we can develop the resource, how we can develop the elements. Also we need to talk the problems that we created, human beings only we created, how we need to solve it. So first of all, before understanding the solution, we need to know what are the causes. Okay, so first you can see now the major problems: depletion of resources for satisfying the greed of few individuals. So in your definition you have seen where particularly was mentioned as the needs. So how through resource it is possible to satisfy the needs of the human beings, but depletion of resource for satisfying the greed of few individuals, increasing the major problems of the whole world, as few individual people are indiscriminately using these resources. It creates major environmental degradation. Second part, as you can see, the accumulation of resources in few hands, which in turn divided the society into two segments. As you have seen the first point, that resource each one of us is using only to satisfy their needs. Okay, but there are few individuals, those who want to use this resource to satisfy their greed. As few individuals want to use these resources to satisfy their greeds, automatically it creates two segments in our society: poor and rich, or have and have nots. This gap clearly nowadays we can see in our society, where a group of people, they are rich, they have each and every resource, they are having quality of life, they are having a standard of life, they are having food, they are having settlement, they are having car, they are having education, medical facility, etc., etc. And there is segment of population, those who are struggling to have one time food. It means depletion of resources to satisfy few individual people greed is pushing us towards the problem. What is the problem? Now our society is divided into two parts: poor and rich, as well as have and have nots. Third major problem, the indiscriminate exploitation of resources has led to global ecological crisis such as global warming, ozone layer depletion, environmental pollution, and of course land degradation. So the way people are using the resource to satisfy the greed, and they are continuously doing this, it creates major global ecological problems. And the ecological problems are like global warming, ozone layer depletion, environmental pollution and land degradation, which we all are facing the problem. These type of environmental degradation affecting each one of us, no matter we are rich or poor, no matter which country we belong. These environmental degradation, these type of global ecological problems affecting each one of us. So we need to the development of resource. Here, development of resource does not mean that you are using good advanced technology. Here it means the way we are using resource, we need to change the using process. We need to focus more on planning. We need to focus more on planning. How on a planned way we can utilize these resources to satisfy our needs only. We should not think about the greed, we should think about the needs, because if we think about the needs, then only we can provide facilities to each one of us. Then there will be no poor, okay, then there will be no have nots group. I hope this topic is clear. Next we will discuss about the sustainable development. As you know, where we are having development of resource, where we talked about the planning, where we have seen the major problem, and all these things can be possible by sustainable development, because sustainable development includes resource planning. Sustainable development include how to satisfy the needs. As we all know, resource distribution is not equal in the whole world. There are some particular region where we can get the resource. So when we know that resource are some resource, not all, there are some particular resources which is which is limited, and we have some specific region only where we can get it. So of course we have to have one planning. Without planning it is not possible. If one day we are going to finish all these resource, our next generation, our future will be dark. So we will discuss what is sustainable development first of all. So yes, sustainable economic development means development should take place without damaging the environment, and the development in the present should not compromise with the needs of the future generation. So this is sustainable development, where we are not only thinking about the present, we are also thinking about the future, where we are talking about the planning. That sustainable economic development means the development should take place at the present. So we should have development at present. We can't stop development, it's never possible, because each one of us want to develop in our life. So development is required. So as we want development as a present, so this development should not affect the future, should not affect the future generation. So development we have at present should not damage the environment, and it should not compromise with the future needs. Example, as you can say, like as we know, coal, petroleum, these are very limited in our environment. So if within present situation, if within one day we are going to finish the whole coal, petroleum, whatever we have in our environment, so what we have for the next day, what we have for our next generation? Nothing, zero. We don't want that. What we want? The resources that we have. And as we know, some resources as it is limited, and we want it and we need it in our future also. So we need to consume it. We need to plan how to use it as a present without damaging the needs of the future. So this is all about sustainable development. Now how this sustainable development came, how this idea came. So Rio de Janeiro Earth Summit in 1992 It was the first international Earth Summit on a global basis. So in June 1992, more than 100 heads of states met in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil for the first international Earth Summit. This summit was convened for addressing urgent problems of the environmental protection and socio-economic development at the global level. So as we all know that these environmental degradation like global warming, ozone layer depletion, air pollution, these are very common problem to all of us. Each and every country is facing these type of problem only. So this summit, this first international Earth Summit convenes for addressing urgent problems. These are the urgent problems of present world. So how we can reduce these problems, how we can solve these problems on a environmental protection as well as socio-economic development. So the assembled leaders signed the Declaration of Global Climatic Change and Biological Diversity. So as each of us know about the global climatic change, at the global level we all are facing the same problem. So each one of the leaders of the countries, they signed the Declaration of Global Climatic Change and Biological Diversity, and they pledge that each one of them will try to control the pollution and they will all maintain the sustainable development, as it is our future only, as sustainability is our future only. So the Rio Convention endorsed the global forest principle. The problems that we created, it's created by human being only. Okay, all the real problems like water pollution, air pollution, ozone layer depletion, global warming, these are all human made, and one single very common solution, that is forest only, planting trees only, afforestation only. This is a very common solution for each of these problems. I am not saying that within planting trees we can solve everything, but at least we can try, and this is the first step we should take towards the sustainable development. As we know how tree is very much important, how forests are very much important, so we need to take step forward. So the Rio Convention endorsed the global forest principles and adopt Agenda 21 for achieving the sustainable development in 21st century. So what is Agenda 21? Agenda 21 means the principles or the solutions. We are going to follow some agendas. We are going to see that what are the problems that we made, what are the problems that we have, and how we can solve it. And we pledge that within 21st century we are going to solve all these problems, or we will try to solve these problems. It's not possible to solve these problems that we have created, but at least we can try to control it. At least we can try. Okay, so this is all about Agenda 21. Agenda means that goals that we have set, and we will continue that. Why it is 21st? Because we want to solve, we want to control these type of problems within the 21st century. Okay, so next paragraph, as you can see, is Agenda 21. It is the declaration signed by the world leaders, not a single country. Each one of the country's world leaders, they have signed this declaration in 1992 at the United Nations Conference on Environmental Development, which is the full form of UNCED, okay, which took place at Rio de Janeiro and Brazil. So it aims, Agenda 21 aims at achieving global sustainable development. Agenda 21 always aims to achieve global sustainable development. So each one of us should follow sustainability, okay, because we need to save the whole world. We need to control this environmental degradation. So Agenda 21 is aims achieving the global sustainable development. It is an agenda to combat environmental damages. Okay, the first or the main motto of this Agenda 21 to combat with environmental damages, to fight against environmental damages. But not only we are thinking about the environmental damages, as it is a global aim, as we focused on sustainability, as we are focusing on global, so we need to think about other factors also, as environment is our first priority, but it is not the only priority. With environment also we have poverty. There are so many countries, those who are under BPL, maximum of the population living under BPL, they don't have sufficient income, they don't have sufficient food, and other factors you have seen. So not only we are struggling with the environmental damages, we are also struggling with the poverty, disease through all over the world. So we need our aim to combat with these things also. We want to achieve these things also. As you know, the present situation we are facing, okay, that each one of us facing the same problem. Each countries are struggling with this present situation. So what we are doing? We are helping each other. That's the Agenda 21. That the problem we all are going to face. It's a very natural thing, but we need to help each other when we are, because we call it as a global village. We call it as a global village. It's not your individual problem. It is the problem of the whole world. So the Agenda 21 to combat with environmental damage, poverty, disease through global cooperation on common interests. See, cooperation, global cooperation we are talking about, as we all are facing same problems, so we need to help each other, we need to support each other. It is not possible by one to control all these things or to do all these things. So what we need to do, we need to help each other, we need to support each other. So through global cooperation on common interest, mutual needs and shared responsibilities. So globally we share our responsibilities, globally we are going to cooperate on a common interest and of course mutual needs. Okay, as you have seen during this present situation, during this corona situation, how each and every country is helping each other with medicine, with oxygen, with food, with so many more things. How we all are helping each other, because we are living in the same world and we need to help each other, we need to support each other. Without helping each other, without the cooperation, without the support, it is never possible to win a war. Okay, so one major objective of Agenda 21 is that every local government should draw its own local Agenda 21. So Agenda 21, where we talked about sustainability, where we talked about sustainable development, but each country, each locality, they are having their priority, their own problems. Okay, so Agenda 21 is said that each locality should have their own Agenda 21. So it will help them to understand what are their priorities, where they should first focus, what should be the next, what they can do. Okay, so each countries, each locality should have their own Agenda 21, where they can see their priorities, they can see their problem, and they should try to solve this. Okay, so it's all about sustainable development and Agenda 21. Next we will discuss about resource planning. It's a major topic under this sustainability, because resource, as we know, resource we have sufficient amount of resource we have to satisfy the needs, but we don't have enough to satisfy people's greed. So for that what we require resource planning. So in a country like India, which has enormous diversity in the availability of resource, yes of course, due to the different type of physical feature, climate, soils, for so many reasons, okay, we are having a variety of resource, and in different regions we are getting different type of resource. So there are regions which are rich in certain type of resource but are deficient in some other resource. Yes, it is also possible that some regions where we have a particular type of resource, and there, so we call it, these type of regions or areas are rich with the resource, And of course we have some areas where we don't have resource, or these areas are poor in resource. So what do we need to do? We need to support, as I said, we need to support, we need to provide the facilities to each other. As overall growth we want, as overall achievement we want, so what we need to do? We need to support each other. So there are some regions which can be considered self-sufficient in terms of the availability of resources, like Chhatnagpur itself. Chhatnagpur Plateau region is rich with different varieties of resources. Now there is Indian desert area where we don't have that type of resources. So yes, there are some regions which is self-sufficient in terms of availability of resources, but there are some regions where we don't have sufficient amount of resource. So in terms of availability of resource, there are some regions which have adequate storage of some vital resources. For example, the states of Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh is rich in minerals and coal deposits. As I said, Chhatnagpur Plateau region is rich with minerals, coals, etc. etc. Arunachal Pradesh has abundance of water resource. As in Arunachal Pradesh we have the Himalayan mountain region, as well as we have Brahmaputra river. So that area is full of water resource, but lack of infrastructure development. So what is the problem? Now in the states like Arunachal Pradesh, where they have a huge amount of water resource, but they have lack of infrastructural development that we have in different states. Infrastructure development that we have in different states. The states of Rajasthan is very well endowed with solar and wind energy, but lacks of water resource. So in the same country, eastern side, the easternmost state, as we know, easternmost states is Arunachal Pradesh, where we have a huge amount of water resource, but lack of infrastructure development. In this side, Rajasthan, which is the western state of India, where we have maybe infrastructure development, but what we don't have water resource. Instead of water resource, what we have? We have solar energy, wind energy. So the cold desert of Ladakh is relatively isolated from the rest of the country. Yes, Ladakh is also a part of India, which is full of some types of resources, but it is isolated still due to the technology, because the height, because of the climate, because of the height, because of that altitude only. Okay, still we can't access the technical development, still we don't have where we can access to that part of the country. So still it is isolated from the whole country. So it is very rich with cultural heritage, but is deficient in water, infrastructure and some vital minerals. This is called balanced resource planning in a nation, state, and region and local level. So you have seen within our country how different states is having different type of resources, and because we are living in one country, and because we always should think about the overall growth. Now what we need to do the resource planning. As we want overall growth, and as we have the diversity in our resource, and as you have seen, there are some states where you have a huge amount of a particular resource, but lack of some other resource. So what we need to do? We need to have a proper planning where we can match local resource planning with the overall development. That's the motto of sustainability. That's the motto of sustainable development. So resource planning in India. So resource planning is a complex process which involves some steps. Okay. First step, identification and inventory of resource across the region of the country. So resource planning, of course, first step is identification. We need to identify the resource across the region, in which particular region, in which area, in which state, what are the resources that I am getting or we are getting. Okay, this involves surveying, mapping, quality and quantity estimation and measurement of the resource. So yes, first step, identification requires survey. First we need to go to the area or region or the state. We need to check the resource, that what kind of resource we are getting, the quality, then we need to do the mapping. Okay, we need to do the map. Why? Because in the whole area maybe we are not going to get the resource. There are some specific place where we are going to get the resource, so we need to do the mapping, as map will help us to locate the particular place. So after survey we will go for the mapping. Third thing, the quality and quantity estimation. That it's not about that okay, we are going to a region, we are getting the resource, it's enough. No, we need to check the quality, that the product or the element or the resource that we have, is it a good quality, is it usable, is it going to suit. Okay, that we need to check. So we need to check the quality, and of course we need to check the quantity also, as it is not possible to measure the proper quantity. This is never possible, but at least we can estimate. Okay, suppose in a particular region I am going to get coal. First I need to check the quality of the coal. Is coal the good quality of coal, can we use it or not. Second thing, I need to estimate the quantity. What is the amount that I am going to get from here. It is not possible to tell the exact quantity, but we can estimate. So estimation will help us to understand that how much I am going to get it from here and how much I need from other places. So first step is identification, which is very crucial. Okay. Second step, involving planning structure endowed with appropriate technology, skill and institutional setup. So yes, of course, after identification of the resource, after getting know the regions and all, what we need to do, we need to go for the planning structure, where it will include technology, skill as well as institutional setup. So after knowing that in this region I am going to get this type of resource, I need to have technology to access and to get it, and of course to use it. Second thing, we require skill. We require skilled people. Okay, we require skill, that how I am going to get it. Okay, how we can utilize it. So we require skill. Lastly, we require institutional setup, where we can research, where we can convert these things into a final product. So second step is also important. Third step is very crucial, that matching the resource development plans with overall national and developmental plans. As I said, Agenda 21, each and every locality we have one Agenda 21. It means what? The matching of resource development plans in your region, whatever resource you are getting. Okay, we are planning according to that, that in my place, in my region, I am going to get these type of resource, and this will help me to develop my region or my area. But after doing this planning structure, I need to see that this resource will help the overall nation or not. This will help the overall growth of my country or not. This is very crucial to match the resource plan of a particular region with the overall growth. If we don't have the overall growth, we can't call it development. If a particular region or few regions going to develop, a country can't be called as a developed country. We all need to develop. Then it is possible to declare a country as a developed country. So resource planning is very much crucial, very much vital for the sustainability of development. Why? Because the resource that we have in our environment, we know with the proper planning only we can utilize it. Otherwise, if indiscriminately we are going to use the resource, it is going to harm the environment, it is going to harm our future. So there are total 3 steps which included with resource planning: identification of the resource, second, involving technology, skill and institutional setup, lastly, matching the resource development with the overall growth. Okay, I hope this video helps you to understand this topic. So thank you students, thank you for today's class. Next we'll discuss the other topics. Thank you everyone.